Hello everybody, today I'm going to be talking about the lonely mutation of Baxter Stockman. So I'm really excited to talk about this episode because we finally get to talk about where Baxter Stockman becomes a fly. This is technically his last appearance of himself being human, since we don't see it until the end of season 4. We kind of just get used to Baxter as a fly. But basically what happens is, while he is doing his work, Shredder comes in very displeased of Baxter's progress towards creating a mutant army. And we get like Ace the Duck, I'm pretty sure, as a reference to one of the mutants. And we also get a Bebop and Rocksteady reference, sort of, like mutant pigs and rhinos. But then Shredder's just very angry. And so he's ready to set off the mutagen tank on his neck. So if you don't know, back in season 2, he had this little thing on, this little collar, as if he fails again. They press it and then, boom, Baxter is mutated. They honestly did it just so they can have him become a mutant fly, like in the 80s show. And so that's what happens. Like, Baxter panics. But then it looks like it didn't go off. But then when Shredder and Rossar leave, it unfortunately explodes, and then mutagen is just covered all over Baxter. I was always wondering if Baxter would turn into a mutant, but he did. And then he becomes the Baxter Fly. And meanwhile, Donnie has finally constructed retro mutagen. And April's very happy, and the turtles, now they can finally reverse the effects of the mutagen from Mr. O'Neill. And he also wants to give it to Splinter so he can be human. And then Splinter seems very happy. He's just like, save April's father first, and then I will. Which makes sense. And so that's what the turtles do. They try to save Kirby Bat by finding him. He also is biting into billboards like Dracula. And then the turtles, when they do catch up to him, they try to give him the mutagen, but then when Baxter Fly comes in the way after escaping Raza and the Foot Clan, he then attacks the turtles, now wanting to use retro mutagen to cure himself, even though he thinks he's nothing. But then during the fight, the retro mutagen falls and then spills all over the street, and then that's a huge blow because that was going to use for Mr. O'Neill. But then April is captured by Baxter, and so the turtles hatch a plan to save April and also get Kirby Bat. And we also see the return of Trifidal. So Trifidal is Mikey's other alter ego, where he has those wings and goggles on. It's very silly. And now Raph is sort of his sidekick, and they use like these wings to fly in the sky to catch up to Kirby Bat. And then meanwhile, Casey, Leo, and Donnie team up to rescue April. And it looks like Baxter's plan is to drop April into a giant tank of mutagen if they don't give him the retro mutagen. And they try to convince him that they're not here to hurt him. They can find a way to cure him, but he's just not listening. And there's this one scene where Casey literally grabs Baxter Fly, and I almost thought Casey was gonna fall into the mutagen, but he didn't. Thank goodness. But then, unfortunately, Baxter has this power where he can spit vomit, and it's like acid, and then he spits it all over the rope April's tied up to, and she literally falls into the mutagen tank. Now he tries to catch her, but unfortunately she falls in. I was thinking, oh no! And I thought April was gonna mutate, because there were stories where April did get mutated into a turtle back in the old comics. But because April's, I guess, DNA, of Krang DNA, it didn't mutate her. That didn't really make sense to me, but I guess if you watch it, maybe you'll understand. But, yeah, April doesn't get mutated, and she's like, nice catch, Donnie. And so, next is like, it's just a big goose chase. Now, everyone wants the retro mutagen. The Turtles, April, Baxter and Razar when he breaks in, so he can become a back to Chris Bradford. But if he drank the Retro Mutation, wouldn't he just turn back into Dog Pound? Who knows? And so during the Goose Chase, the Retro Mutation does get cracked and open again when each person's grabbing onto it. But then April's not giving up. She's able to ride onto April's dad, her own dad, and then one little drop of Retro Mutant is able to turn Kirby back into Kirby O'Neil. And so he's back to normal finally. And April's very happy. She kisses Donnie like earlier in the episode. And then Donnie's like, 2 kisses equals eat it, Casey Jones. And then that just shows that their love triangle's still going on. I'm still not versed on the love triangle. That's my only issue with this show, was because I just don't see the point of it. And so it looks like Baxter Stockman's still on the mutant list of bad guys. And so the episode ends with Baxter meeting up with Shredder. Now he's a pawn. I knew it was coming. So it looks like Baxter ain't really going to be making robots anymore. He's now just a mutant fly. And he's even given candy to spit on. So that's the episode. So this episode was really good, exciting, fun. It keeps you up, keeps your eyes open, because what's going to happen. And so I'd give it a 9 out of 10. I think the next episode is Neutralizer. I can't wait to talk about that episode for sure. So with that said, thanks for watching, and Turtle Power.